Hello everyone, welcome back in another video. I am Vaibhav. In our today's video, we are going to see exception handling. So before going toward the exception handling, today date is 9th August 2022. So before going toward our topic, let's we see what is meant by exception. So exception is nothing but the if any unnecessary or unrequired um, condition is occurred, that condition is we are called as an exception. Let's see with the real time example. Suppose when we are working on a desktop, that time if there is not any backup source for the desktop, we are writing any code or we are doing any project. Let's suppose that project is completed till 90%, but sudden power cut is there. That time our desktop will be directly shut down. So that's time we have to rewrite all code or rewrite the all program or project due to that issue. That time there is a occurring an exception. That means we are not considering the power cut is produced. Because of that unwanted or unexpected thing is happen. That is the exception. That is the power cut exception. And one more example for that, that is, let's suppose if any person get uh, by mistakenly feeling not well or unhealthy, that time it occurs the exception of illness exception. After that, suppose one more example for like when we are finding any folder on a PC, that time if that folder is not that data is not present in our PC, that time it show a exception like file not found exception. So these are type of the exception. That means the we are not predicting for the same case, but they happening that that conditions we are calling it exception. So for overcoming the exception, there are some ways to avoid exception. Let's suppose in our first example, there is a power cut exception. We are providing some power source or power backup for the desktop. Due to that, if there is a power cut exception is occur, that time there is a power source is supporting for the desktop, and we are saving or we are directly save that project. That is that means we are giving a exception handling for that condition. Like that same in same another case, that is we are carrying medicines or we take a prevention for the health. That time exception is not produced. After that, if we are finding any file, that time we directly putting the address of that file. That time it does not show the exception of file not found. Like, okay. After that, see one more example in our coding one. Let's suppose there is one class A, and within that class there is a method, and within that method, let's suppose we are taking some variables like int A is equal to 10, int B is equal to 0, and int C is there. So I want to uh, I want to I want to do mathematically operation on this integer on these variables of division. So that time I can write as a int C is equal to A divided by B. That means it's write as a C is equal to 10 by 0. So in this case, there is a occurring an exception, like a arithmetical exception. That means that is not possible to divide any value by the 0. So that time it shows the exception of mathematical error or arithmetical exception. So that is the predefined exception. So that is for the overcoming for overcome all those exception. Java can provide us some mechanisms or some tools are there. The mechanisms are like try, catch, throws, and finally. So in this case, there is some mechanism we are using as like there is a throw and catch mechanism. With the help of that mechanism, we are using this mechanism for the predefined exceptions. That means, as we see in example, there is an exception of arithmetical exception, or some more exception like out of bound or stack overflow. These all exceptions are predefined by the Java developer. So all those exceptions are predefined exception. We are using to overcome or uh, for handling those exceptions which are predefined. For that, for the case, we are using try and catch mechanism. After that, the next case is that there is a throw and throws mechanism. When there is an exception is not predefined, that means exception is user defined. That time we are using throw and throws mechanism. In throw and throws mechanism, we are directly uh, push the all. We are directly blame the all exception towards the JVM, and with the help of JVM, we can achieve to overcome those exception or answering for that exception. And last one mechanism is that finally, let's suppose if there is an any block of code and we have to execute that code without any exception occurring, or if any exception is occur, that time uh, it should remove that exception by itself. That time we are using finally mechanism. Finally mechanism can give 100% of 100% of execution in a code by using finally exception. In our previously example, we see that the example of mathematical calculation, we can solve that example by using throw and catch mechanism. Within that same case, if they on the line, on that line, the exception is occurred, we can call that line as a risky line. So that risky line, code we are writing within our try block. Try block syntax is like try and there are curly braces. We are writing that syntax between that try block. We are write as try open curly braces, and within that c is equal to a by b, and after that sys out, and we giving a print command for the c. And after that we are using a catch command, that is we are write as a catch, and then write as a exception handling for arithmetical, and then e is a variable, and we give sys out for the e. So if there is a exception is, if there is a not any exception is occur, that time try block will execute and give us a result. And if there is any exception is occur, that exception can be handled by the catch block, and it gives us output in terms of variable e. And for that e, we are giving some specific data or information for the exception. So that is the overall about exception handling in Java. Thank you.